In this video, I want to start laying the groundwork for our weapon's damage. And by that, for example, I do not actually have do I not have, oh yes I do, weapons, 1911, here's the blueprint. So we have a base damage right here, and the base damage is just simply set to 100, and then just our, just temporary ammo. So what I want to do, I don't have any reload animation, yeah, is we need to kind of evaluate how it's set up in World at War. So if we look at the 1911, for example, and same thing, this goes for the rest of them, we see that they have a base damage, so this one being 20, and then they have multipliers. So if we get a headshot, 20 is multiplied by 3.5. So 20, 40, 60, my brain ain't working. 20 times 3.5, 70. So if you hit them in the chest, which in our case, it would just be the torso. So they're separating actually the torso and the stomach, hard to say for me. So 1.25, you would have a damage just of 25. So what I was thinking is we can create a structure that kind of holds this damage data for the weapon. So inside of our weapon base.h, we can go up above it. Let's create a use struct. Let's do blueprint type. It's going to be a struct f weapon damage. We're going to do generated body and create some public variables. So these are all going to be just edit defaults only. So u property, edit defaults only. Then we're going to do float base damage, like so. So base damage in this case would be 20. So same thing, then we would have 3 variables for the multipliers. So let's add more of these variables here. We'll do 2, so that we head, torso. Yeah, I'm just going to do head and torso because I don't have the chest and the abdominal separated currently. So let's call this one, what is it? Head multiplier and torso multiplier. Okay, am I spelling torso right? Yeah, screw it. Close enough. So we have the multiplier for the head and the torso, and then the base damage, which would be used for like limb shots to the arms, legs, hands, etc. So I think that's all we really need. I'm just going to go ahead and set the defaults in here. So I'm just going to set 20. Head multiplier, I'm going to set it the same as 3.5. Abdomen or torso being, what was it, 1.1. And we can also make some functions on here to actually go about calculating the damage. So what I'm going to do is make a public function. It's going to do float get damage. And here we could actually pass in an enum, which is going to hold the area that was hit. So a u enum, blueprint type, I guess again, it's going to do enum, e hit location, I guess is an okay name. Then we're going to have the name, so do head. What is it? It's meta equals, I think. We're going to do torso, meta equals torso. Okay, I'm not doing this quite right. Let me look at another project here. I'm trying to remember what the syntax for this is. So, oh, meta, then display name. So meta and meta. Yep, okay, like so. So we now should have the head and the torso set up in an enum. So now we do get damage. So what we're going to do is we're going to make it take in a parameter. So that's going to be type e hit location, call it hit location. We're going to do if, I don't know if we can do a switch on enum, but it's not too big of a deal. If hit location equals e hit location head, then we will perform the setup for a headshot. Okay, I'm missing something here. Because the syntax looks correct to me. Let's move back to the qualifier. I'm gonna try to compile and just see. Unless we need to use get enum as no, we don't need to. Okay, line 12. So you're having issues. I'm an idiot. I need to get rid of the equal sign. There. Yeah, that was my stupidity. Yeah, not sure why you're still throwing a fit unless this is just IntelliSense, which it seems like it is. So now we compile. Okay, so it's successful. Now what we're going to do is we're going to return base damage times head multiplier. Else if hit location equals e hit location torso, we're going to return base damage times torso multiplier. And finally, otherwise we're going to return base damage. Alrighty, so let's see, we got that set up. Now let's create the enum, or not the enum, the F weapon damage. Let's do it where base damage is. So we're going to create F weapon damage, call it weapon damage. This is where we're going to get access to it. We need to remove from the constructor base damage. I don't think we're actually using it anywhere, so I'm going to go ahead and compile just to confirm that, but we should be good. Okay, so we have weapon damage. Now we need to make a public function to get it and return it. So under fire, we're going to do F weapon damage, get weapon damage. Then we're simply going to return weapon damage. Oh, right, I need to go to the 1911 class, the CPP, and remove base damage from that. I'm going to cancel the compile and simply recompile. So now we just gotta wait. Confirm we have no issues, and we are good. Okay, so now we need to think of where we're hitting. What I'm thinking of doing, so we'll have access to the enum. So in the zombie base, we need to include the weapon base.cpp because we are going to be getting the damage from the weapon that was used. So let's include that. Then we need to get the weapon that was used. So in hit, we have access to the player. Let's check our player and confirm that we have access to the weapon. So pretty sure it's character dots or the Nazi zombie character. Nope, we did that in the character base. So we have current weapon. Do we have a function to get it? We do not, so let's create a public function to get it. So u function blueprint callable. Gonna do or declare it a weapon base. Call it get current weapon. And this is simply going to return current weapon. So get current weapon, returns current weapon. So now in our zombie base.cpp, what we can do is we can go ahead and get the weapon. So let's go over here. So we have the bone that's hit based on the hit part. And we can kind of go on an enum based on the hit part. So let's see here. How do I want to do this? Guess we can construct another enum. So e hit location, hit location, location. We're not going to set it to any. Actually, let's set it to, let's give another one, call it none. New meta display name, none. So now we just set it to none. So e hit location, none. So that's just it by default. So we're going to do if, or actually you can do a switch on hit part. So hit part returns 1, 2, 3, 4. No. Get hit part. So 1 is a limb hit. So we only want to focus on 2, 3, and 4. So I'm going to kind of neck his as a headshot. So switch hit part. We're going to do case 2. I think it's 2, right? Actually, I can just hover over this. So 2 is a torso. So hit location equals e hit location torso. Case 3 hit location equals e hit location neck or head. Case 4 hit location equals e hit location head. So this is the neck and this is the head. I'm not going to bother having a default. We're already setting it. Trying to think of what else. Okay, so we get the hit location. So now we can go based on the damage. So we'll call get points per hit. We pass in the hit part. So trying to think. We can actually pass in the enum. Oh, we pass in the hit part and we can pass in the multiplier based on it. So let's see here. We're gonna make this take in two parameters. So we want to pass in, what was that weapon called? Or the function called? Get weapon damage. Why is it down here? Put that in the CPP, or right underneath the fire. There. No reason to make it inline at the moment. Not going to worry about any of that. So now, let's see. We want to pass in, wrong class, F weapon damage. So weapon damage. Actually, since we're on here, we can do float weapon damage. And what I want to do is I'm going to do a check. So if a weapon base player weapon equals player get current weapon, we're going to do player weapon. Is IntelliSense just not working at all? Or what's the issue here? Including the character, including the weapon base. See if we compile successfully. Wow, I'm already at 17 minutes. Okay, so I guess it's just IntelliSense or whatever this version of it's called is being weird. So player weapon get weapon damage dot what's that function called? Get damage, and we're going to pass in the hit location. I'm going to move this below the switch. I'm going to uncomment this, and it's going to take in weapon damage. So it's going to take in a float, so get points for hit. It's now going to take in two parameters. So hit part and float damage. Okay. Now let's set the health to deal the damage. So down here, we're just gonna decrement health by the passed in damage. And that's gonna be the same thing here, even though it's technically kill shots. We're gonna do health minus damage, is less than or equal to 0. Then we've killed it, the zombie, and it's just gonna run all the same. I wanna go ahead and compile. And let's see, I want to print out the damage actually, if I can see it. So UV log temp, weapon damage, like so. Just let it finish compiling and do a quick recompile. And relaunch the editor. Okay, let's hope that it prints it out. Weapon damage 70. Shoot him in the head. Still showing 70. Actually, I need to check what the damage and stuff setup for this is. Let's open up that blueprint. Weapon damage, base damage. Okay, so that's set up. Let's check. 20 times 3.5. That gives us 70 for a headshot. So if we hit him in the torso, so 20 times 1.1, we go up to 22. Oh, that was 25. Yeah, whatever. So let's triple check. Seems like we're only getting headshots. Weapon damage 20, so we are hitting the base. Shoot him in the stomach. We go 70. Head is also 70. So that's where we need to fix. But we're partially working, and Unreal Engine just froze it. Close it. There we go. We're partially working. So I'm going to end the video here. And we are currently getting access to the head and the head and none essentially. But I think that's probably my fault. I feel like I've probably done something kind of dumb. So 2 equals torso, 3 neck, 4 head. I'll figure it out. But anyways, yeah. And the next one, we will try to fix the issues that we have at the moment, where we only have the limbs and the head being hit. We're not actually getting the torso multiplier at all. So I will see you in that one.